Hi Flosstube, I'm Kayla, the Hufflepuff Stitcher, and welcome to my channel. We are joined today by Luna, who is taking a little nap on my lap there, and Zelda, who is currently under the table, so I apologize in advance for her shaking the table. Today I want to start out with a huge thank you to Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff for the shout out. I seriously fangirled when I was watching her video and heard my name. It's like, oh my gosh. So I am very happy I get to bring out your Michigander, and it's one of those times I really wish I could hear my own accent. Like, you know how no matter how you speak, you cannot hear your own accent? I really wish that I could. It would be amazing. So, Jessie Marie, thank you so much for the shout out. Today, I have got for you some whips. I've got two finishes. Yes, two finishes. I've got plans for the upcoming week. I've got tiny bit of haul. A new little thing, which will be a surprise. And then I've got the giveaway. So jumping right in, this past week in the School of Magical Stitches and Literature on Facebook, we had to do two different tasks that were 500 stitches each, and they were for defeating a Bogart, which is a magical creature who is essentially shapeless until he is face to face with you. So it starts out by showing itself as your worst fear, and then you have to think of something happy in order to defeat it. So the first one that I did was my happy task. For my happy task, I worked on the Pumpkinville Stitch Along by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Here is where it was last week, and this is where it is this week. So I did get all of that March block done, and I said the craft store is my happy place, and as crafters, isn't it all of our happy places? I was able to get about 460 stitches were all that was left in there. Actually, the sunlight's picking up some of those sparkles in the clouds there. Ooh, I'm so happy it's getting that. So to finish off the full 500, I did add a little bit more to the center banner. Still not entirely finished with the center, but that's okay. I've got until the end of the year, so no huge rush. But that is how it is coming along so far. And right now it is Monday. I usually film on Mondays and then do my editing and whatnot and upload on Tuesdays. So as of the time of filming this, the April block has not yet been released. I'm excited to see what that will be and hopefully get that started at some point this week. The second task I did was the scary task, and this one was very scary. I worked on my Hade. This is Mini Loyalty by Heaven and Earth, and I'm still in this upper corner, but where I had left off, all that I had left to do were the confetti chunks to kind of fill it in, and confetti is terrifying. So this is where it was last week, and yep, this is where it is this week. So I did end up getting to just that littlest bit of the upper corner of the crest there, and I filled in the rest of the confetti areas. And I was actually able to get 506 stitches, so I did not need to go into this little block after all, which I was fairly thankful for. I was pretty confettied out by the time that I got to the end of this. Thank you, Zelda. So that is where that one is. We also had this week a surprise assignment after all. I was not expecting there to be a surprise assignment. I'd hoped that there would be, but I didn't think that there would. Also, Toy of the day looks like the chewed up Frisbee. So the surprise assignment that we had was a Christmas/winter themed assignment. So what we had to do for that was we had to stitch 600 stitches on something that was either winter or Christmas themed. And then after that was initially released, they did extend it to include something that you could find under a tree as well. I believe the reason that they did this is A, to help make up for how strict last week was, and B, because we are now halfway through our 3rd year now that the books are getting 2 months apiece. So for the 3rd Harry Potter book, we're getting March and April, and we are right in the middle, so we're at Christmas break now. For this assignment, I chose to work on my Little House Needleworks. This is the Clockmaker, which was the 2018 addition to the Hometown Holidays series. Oh, sorry about that. That would be a text on my phone. I left that on the table here. Anyways, so I worked on this and I got all 600 stitches done in time. And then yesterday I was sitting here and realized it was super close, so I thought I'd finish it all the way. I have a finish. So this one is, like I said, Clockmaker. I did this on 28 count even weave that I just got from Hobby Lobby and Rit dyed. I did like a tannish color and then like a light aqua blue. Kind of mixed it, threw it on, kind of way to see what would happen. And I did this 2/2. And that is how it turned out. So I am super excited to now have a second building done in my little series. I'm going to have to get this mounted maybe sometime this week. We are on spring break this week. So I'll be going up north for a girls' weekend with my mom and my sister. And then I'll be coming back later in the week. However, we are expecting our nieces from across the state to be in the town, or in the area, in town. So we'll see how much I'm able to get done. I'm hoping I can get most everything done. The other item that I worked on this week was the extra credit assignment for the 2 months. This one was a project that makes you happy so that you can produce the Patronus charm. And for this one, I worked on my Mill Hill Poppy kit, which I finished. Ooh, and it's actually a little bit of the shine. You can see the beads on there. This one I actually did as a little memorial piece for the baby we lost that we had named Poppy. And it was pretty therapeutic to work on it, which is how I said that it made me happy. It also has a flower on it, which makes me think of spring, which it was just snowing here in Michigan yesterday. I'm hoping the snow is about done. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for warm. I want it now. But this is my other finish for the week. Mill Hill Poppy. And this was my very first Mill Hill kit. I absolutely loved it. It was so much fun to work on. All right, my plans for this coming week. So for this week in Magical Stitches, it is just trouble throughout the castle. So the first assignment, we've got 3 different things that we can work on. And you don't have to do all 3. You can if you want to, but you're not required to. They will be 300 stitches apiece. The first one has to do with the fat lady vanishing from her portrait. The fat lady is the lady who is in the picture that is guarding the entrance to the Gryffindor common room. And after she's attacked by Sirius Black, she escapes from her picture and is found hiding throughout the castle. But since she has vanished, we need to work on a project that is 75% done or more and do 300 stitches on it. So what I am doing for this one is my Riolis Hedgehog Kit, and I'm not even going to insert a picture because I'd just be silly. This is how far I am. So if you look the picture, I am so close to done. I've just got a little more of that upper corner and then this side over here, and that's it. So I will be putting in my 300 stitches on my little hedgehogs this week. The other task that we are doing this week, Snape is substituting for Defense Against the Dark Arts class, and he is completely abandoning the lesson plans, which as a teacher, if you have a sub in the room, that's just the worst thing. Do not deviate from the lesson plans. So the thing that we need to do for this assignment is 300 stitches on a piece that is off course in some way, whether it's you made a mistake somewhere and you're just going with it, or if you are purposely changing something in this. So what I am doing for this assignment is my Lizzy Cate ABCs of Faith. And the reason that I am doing this one is because I'm moving the motifs around in here, along with changing some of the colors, because I did this on white fabric, which was not very smart to do, since there are white designs. So what I'm doing is the sayings here that are split up, so like increase your faith, there's like a motif in the middle. I'm moving it that way the motif is at the end of that saying. And I'm doing that for any of them that are split apart like that. So this is where I am at. And if you can hear Zelda whining, it's because she has a ball that rolled under the buffet out in the dining room, and she wants it and cannot reach it. So I'm really hoping that her whining is not coming through on camera, but just in case it is, that is what she's whining about, and I will get it for her after I'm done. All right, the last thing that I will be working on for this week is for the Dementors. There are Dementors around the castle, and they are causing Harry to black out. So for this one, we need to stitch on something with dark threads. And what better one to work on than my Hade. I've got more of those black stripes, and I'm hoping to get into some more of that little upper corner there. It's very exciting to work on something that's not the stripes. So I will hopefully be getting my 300 stitches in on that. And it looks like she gave up on trying to reach that ball. That's gross. Thank you. Mommy will be there in just a second. All right. So that is all that I've got. She's wondering who in the world I'm talking to. I feel like I'm talking to you, but realistically, I'm talking to myself on a camera. So the dogs get confused by that. Anyways, what was I saying? That is what I'll be working on this week. So moving on, I've got a little bit of haul / happy mail. The first one came in the mail this week. If you remember last time, I talked about this little key fob that I got from Donna, who is Deaf Knitter on Instagram. She was at my local craft show, and I picked this up, which was absolutely adorable. So this week in the mail, I got a matching lanyard. I am so excited. I've got a little set now. How cute are those? I cannot wait to use them. Thank you so much, Donna, Deaf Knitter. You are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just can't get over it. And I'm so excited I finally get to use it. I've had it sitting out all week. That way I'd remember to show it before just sticking it on my keys. That makes me so happy. The other thing that I got this week, since I had finished my Clockmaker by Little House Needleworks, I wanted to have another small project. they're a lot easier to bring to the local stitchy meetup thing at the library. It's mostly knitters and crocheters, but I'll cross-stitch there. They accept me. So I wanted to get another one of those, another small project. So what I got was Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, Waves Galore. All I have is the pattern, so I'll hold it way back here. I didn't feel like wasting ink to print out the picture. But this is their seasonal saying, and it's nice and summery. So what I did, I dyed some fabric. Again, this is just a chunk cut off from the 28 count even weave at Hobby Lobby that I dyed with some yellow and then some red, which made an orangey color because I didn't actually have orange. I'm hoping that my threads will not get lost in this color. This ended up being a little bit darker than I was anticipating, but we'll see how it turns out. What I'm thinking about doing is a bunch of the different seasonal sayings and then putting them on my entryway table. However, I kind of want to do it as like a Priscilla finish where you know, you mount it and then just put the magnets on the back side. That way it can be switched out easily. I would love some suggestions though on what to mount it on. If anyone out there has done something similar, I would love to hear about it. I'm open to suggestions. I will say I'm not a farmhouse type of person. I grew up in the country area. I like being a city slicker. My friend and I like to joke that she's the full-out country girl, and I've always been a city girl at heart despite being raised in the country. So that is all that I have for haul. The little surprise thing that I've got. I decided, well, it's not so much I decided, but during the week, my job is to work at a tutoring center. I work with children, many of whom have reading disabilities of some sort, which is why they're coming to tutoring. And one of the books that I like to read with them is called Flat Stanley. So what I did is I made my own little Flat Stanley. They also made their own. And we are going to be mailing them around and seeing if we can get pictures back from all the different places he's been. And in case you're not familiar with the story of Flat Stanley, pretty much he is a little boy who was flattened by a bulletin board. So he is now skinny. He's very thin. But because of this, he does not need to pay for a plane ticket in order to travel places. All he needs to pay for is a stamp. He can fold himself up in an envelope and be mailed anywhere in the world. So I thought it would be fun to kind of do a little Flosstube Flat Stanley. So this is my Flosstube Flat Stanley. My thought process is I'm hoping that I'll be able to send him to one of you guys out there, and then whoever gets him, take some pictures of him wherever you live, show us what makes your area special, and then post them using the hashtag FlossTubeStanley. Or if you're not on Instagram, I also have my email. Just on the back of him, I put the hashtag and my email. That way you can still send the pictures back. And with my students, what we'll be doing is printing out the pictures and then putting them around the giant map that we have in our office and using like a piece of string to kind of connect it to wherever the picture was taken. What I'm hoping is that whoever gets him will then send him on to one of their stitchy friends, who will then send him on to one of their stitching friends, and he'll travel all around the Flosstube community. If that is something that you would be willing to help my students and I out with, just let me know down below. I'll pretty much be doing it on a first come, first serve basis. I am planning this week on bringing him up north with me on my little spring break vacation to Ludington for Girls Weekend. And then I'm hoping to get him mailed out into the rest of the world next week at some point. Oh, I also do have a little letter that kind of explains everything that's going on with him that will be mailed along with him as well. So if you get him, Please take pictures, post pictures of him wherever you live. Show us your area. Many of my students have not traveled outside of the West Michigan area yet, so they're not overly familiar with the world around them, I guess you could say. So take pictures of him, post them either using the hashtag or email me the pictures, whichever is easier for you to do. And then send both him and the letter explaining what's going on with him to your favorite stitchy friend, maybe a floss tuber, whoever you want to send him to. And that is Stanley. So he gets to go in my bag now. My dogs have been nervous all morning because I'm already packing for girls' weekend, and they see the bag sitting there and they're not sure what's going on, why mommy's going somewhere. Little do they know, I'm actually going to Texas in a few weeks with my husband, and we'll both be gone, and they'll have to go stay at Grandma's house, and we'll see how badly they react with that. But so far, they're getting nervous already. So he gets to go in my bag. Anyways, I'm getting off task. So last week's giveaway, we had cat lips by Amy Brukin Designs. We had a few people enter for this. I will insert my little screenshot here. And congratulations to Lori Cornea. I'm not entirely sure if I pronounced that correctly, but congratulations, you have won this chart. Get a hold of me either on Instagram. I'm the Hufflepuff Stitcher. That's all one word, the Hufflepuff Stitcher, on Instagram. Or you can email me at the email address that is listed below. Just send me your real life address. That way I can get this in the mail to you. And for this week, the giveaway that I have, I set aside, and here it is. We've got the Clockmaker by Little House Needleworks. The stitching is done, so I'm ready to pass this along to someone else who can love it. That way it's not just sitting in a little stash somewhere at my house, all sad, because he's already been stitched. Anyways, if you would be interested in winning this, then what I want you to do is please be a subscriber, be over 18. That way it's all good for me to get your address. And do not use the word giveaway in your answer. We want to make sure that this goes to somebody who would love to stitch it and not just somebody who is searching the word giveaway. The question that I would like you to answer to be entered to win this is, what are you doing for spring break this year? Or if you're part of the grown-up world who does not get spring break, what would you do if you were able to have a spring break? And I believe that's all I have for you guys this week. So until I see you next time, keep it magical, guys. Bye.